Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, with the arrest of the Steele dossier source, we now know for sure that the media and the Democrats' narrative about Russian collusion was a total farce, exposing them in all of their corrupt glory. As Glenn Greenwald said, these last two DOJ indictments, first of Hillary's lawyer, then of Christopher Steele's main source, show that the Clinton campaign funded and fed to the FBI a gigantic batch of lies in the 2016 election, which the vast bulk of the media spent 3 years ratifying and spreading. They're quite literally guilty of the election subversion that they've been accusing us of for the last 5 years. The vast majority of disinformation, propaganda, and lies that flooded the country over the last 5 years did not come from MAGA boomers on Facebook or 4chan teenagers, but the largest and most influential liberal corporate media outlets. As we all well know, these corrupt media organizations pretending to be news organizations won't police themselves and thus will never be held to account by anybody but us. And unfortunately, they've convinced at least half the country that anybody criticizing them along these lines are fanatical extremists not to be listened to. The fact is, practically everything from these people is suspect. We have FBI raiding journalists to protect Joe Biden while the media helps to cover it up. We have Democrat media puppets from the Lincoln Project busted executing false flags to manipulate elections. It's a real shit show out there. A great example of one of these election influencing big lies that were popularized by the Democrat state media is the claim that Trump never condemned white supremacy. And this was linked to another big lie that Trump called neo-Nazis very fine people, which never happened. From the very start of Trump's administration to the very end, US Democrat state media constantly accused Trump of not condemning white supremacy. As late as October of 2020, supposed trustworthy news organizations like the Washington Post that claim to be defending democracy continued to falsely make this claim, thereby influencing the election.
As the person who speaks for the president, does the president denounce white supremacism and groups that espouse it in all their forms?
This has been answered yesterday by the president himself, the day before by the president himself on the debate stage. The president was asked this. He said, sure, 3 times. Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that. I can go back and read for you in August 2019, in one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. In August of 2017, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups. I have an entire list of these quotes that I can go through with you. He has condemned white supremacy more than any president in modern history.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
I just did. The president has denounced this repeatedly. The president was asked this. You're contriving a storyline and a narrative.
I'm just asking you to put this to rest.
I just did. I read you all of the quotes, and if you need to see them in writing, I will put them in an email.
The Lincoln Project was still making this claim after they got busted during their false flag, claiming that it was really just a protest of Trump never condemning white supremacy. So just a reminder, this is a big lie disinformation campaign that the Democrat media executed because they didn't like the results of the 2016 election, and they've never been held to account for it.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Sure. You've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem.
Would you repudiate David Duke?
Sure.
David Duke and robocalls are out again, the white supremacist movement supporting you. Do you have any words for that?
Well, I disavow.
David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow, okay?
When we looked at it and looked at the question, I disavowed David Duke. So I've disavowed David Duke all weekend long on Facebook, on Twitter, and obviously it's never enough.
Trump's refusal to condemn, distance himself from white supremacists.
The Anti-Defamation League is already out there asking the president to clarify why he didn't condemn white supremacists.
So are you prepared right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am.
When Chris joined, we had a news conference, and they asked me the exact same question. I said, I disavow. I disavowed then. I disavowed today on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. I disavowed again.
David Duke is a bad person who I disavowed on numerous occasions over the years.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. Ultimately, he got to the Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow. I reject David Duke, rejected David Duke. I've rejected the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan.
David Duke is saying to his supporters and followers, vote for Donald Trump. White supremacists are saying, vote. Do you want those votes?
No, I don't want them, and I don't want him to say it.
And you don't want the supporters?
No, I don't want anything.
What do you think of white supremacists, by the way?
I don't like any group of hate.
David Duke announced his Senate candidacy, claiming your agenda.
Are you ready before you ask the question?
Newt Gingrich said every Republican should repudiate this guy, no matter what it takes.
And I do. Rebuked. Is that okay? Rebuked.
Rebuked.
Done.
Done.
Just to clear it up this morning, can you, naming it, make a declarative statement that you denounce, that the president denounces it?
Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists.
Do you want white supremacists to vote for you?
No, I don't at all. Not at all.
His campaign is denouncing a show of support from the KKK's official newspaper, as in the Ku Klux Klan.
In the same New York Times interview, he denounced white supremacists. He denounced the neo-Nazis who support him.
President Donald Trump signed a congressional joint resolution that condemns white supremacy, neo-Nazis, and other hate groups.
When he was asked to condemn white supremacists, he didn't.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
When specifically asked if he would denounce white supremacists, that the president dodged it.
I spoke out forcefully against hatred, bigotry, and violence, and strongly condemned the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, and the KKK.
Well, I have to say that it's disappointing that a sitting U.S. president can't outright condemn white supremacy.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
The President of the United States, in the year of our Lord 2020, refuses to condemn white supremacists.
Any group of hate, I don't like it. Any group of hate, I am, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's any other kind of supremacy, whether it's Antifa, whether it's any group of hate, I am very concerned about it, and I'll do something about it.
He has yet once to condemn white supremacy, the neo-Nazis. He hasn't condemned the darn thing.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to head on over to my Teespring store and check out my new Let's Go Brandon line of hoodies and t-shirts. If you want to support this channel, that's a great way to do it.